Okay. Okay. Today you don't pass. You need to practice that. Okay. I'll give you the road test checklist.
Okay.
Okay. You can take another appointment online.
Okay.
Okay. You can take 1 hour with the driving school and explain that. You can read this book, Driver's Handbook. Do you know this
Yeah,
book?
yeah.
Yeah, you have. Okay. Is that
Hi friends, Jay Eichmann, Road Test Success. We've got a great fail video coming in from our friends to the north. This was taken earlier this year, and what makes this test so great to observe is this strange combination in the student of nervous slash confident slash aggressive slash almost argumentative energy. My understanding is that this is actually an experienced driver, but not a licensed driver. And the student clearly has some nerves about the testing, and a lot
Okay.
of almost hazardous situations develop as we go through this driving test.
okay? You can start the car. I need to
So
check the
right now
handbrake.
we're finishing up the pre-vehicle inspection. She's checking the parking brake. All tests
Oh,
will
cool.
start with some sort of a pre-check. Let's listen in as she
Slowly release
explains
the
what's
brake.
going to be occurring
Not supposed to move.
during the
Okay.
exam.
No, no,
Thank
that's
you,
okay.
sir.
Put them all there.
Okay.
I explain you the test.
Okay.
The test is like you drive alone.
Okay.
Okay. Think about that when I explain you the test. Okay.
Sure.
Because sometimes it's a test we're a little nervous.
Mhm.
Okay. 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 I'll give you the details in advance.
Okay.
If you turn right or left.
Okay.
If I don't see anything,
Go
go
straight.
straight on
Yeah.
the road. The exam is divided into parts,
Mhm.
which you must pass with success.
Okay.
Your driving technique and the road safety rules.
Mhm.
Okay. Respect the sign.
Okay.
Make a full stop.
Mhm.
Respect the traffic light.
Okay.
Okay. And the speed limits. Don't go over the speed limits. So try to be as close when it's possible.
Definitely.
Because if you drive too slow,
Mhm.
sometimes it's dangerous.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Your technique. I explained you the technique.
Mhm.
When you have a stop, okay,
Okay.
you make a full stop.
Okay.
Okay, the full stop. I will evaluate the visual scanning. You check left,
Left.
right,
Yeah.
left. Okay. If you turn on the right side before you turn, before you maneuver, you check on the blind side. The
Okay.
blind side is right here.
You have to check this way and this way.
Yes, if you turn right.
Yep.
If you turn on the left side,
Left
the blind
and
side
left
is
blind
on the left side. When you change the lane,
Mhm.
okay, before you move, you check on the mirror and the blind side.
Okay.
Okay. If the passing score is 75%.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
Are we allowed to take free rides? Free ride? I mean,
I'm sorry, my English is not very good.
it's okay. It's okay.
No, no, explain.
Generally, we are allowed to take right
Oh,
side.
on the red
yeah,
line?
yeah.
Oh, it's like you want.
Okay.
It's like you want.
Okay.
Okay. If you want to wait the green light, you
Mhm.
can. If you decide to turn, if it's safety,
Yep.
it's okay.
Check the blind spots and again, if it is safe, you can go. Yeah.
Yes, if it's safety, if you have possibility, it's like you want.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay.
Okay. Do you have another question?
Nothing.
Nothing. Well, if you are ready, you can go on the left side.
Okay.
So really some great questions and advice from the examiner and great explanations of what she'll be looking for. Helpful to all of us. Yes, this is a Canadian drive test, but the laws are virtually identical, and there's a lot that we can learn as we go through this.
Right.
Okay.
because we don't have the stuff.
Yep.
And we don't have the flasher. After yes, but not when we start. Turn left.
Perfect.
So I do want to acknowledge and thank our contributor here for their willingness to share this video. We do actually pay a bonus for the fail videos because they frankly are more valuable. Much more items to learn from some of these mistakes and cautions that will be seen than in, say, a test that goes perfectly. If you'd like to know more about contributing possibly your own video and receiving compensation, check the information, details, and links below.
Towards right.
Wait, continue. Turn right here.
Here.
Yes, right.
Okay.
Make a full stop.
Yep.
At the traffic light, turn right.
Okay.
At the traffic light, turn left. Don't go over the speed limits.
Yeah, I'm in 50.
50.
Yep, I'm in 50.
Because we are 57.
Oh, sorry.
Turn right here.
All right, so another hazardous situation here, this time the opposite, going too slow in the traffic lane. Remember, we are to be predictable. If there's no reason to slow in the traffic lane, then we should not excessively slow down.
Left.
Same deduction at this turn, almost a complete stop in the traffic lane. There's no reason for it. Drivers behind you will presume that you're just going to make the turn if there's no reason to slow down, and if you slow excessively, you can actually cause a rear end accident. So rightfully, this examiner could turn the student around now and take them back to the facility. This is actually a failed test.
Here we don't have to stop. When you
Another
don't have to
deduction.
stop, don't go under 20 kilometers.
Okay.
Another hazard. But to the examiner's credit, she does complete the entire road course, giving both the student and us a chance to learn some more as we witness this examination.
Left. Full stop. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I've
You're
stopped
too
it.
fast. You're too fast. You make a full stop,
Okay.
and the stop. The car.
It has to be in
also-
zero. Yeah.
I'll show you for the stop. Full stop. Wait. Okay, it's a full stop. Okay. Turn right. First street.
Okay.
Right side. Turn left. Next traffic light. Turn right.
Okay.
Drive 60, 70. It's 50. And the traffic light. Turn right. At the traffic light. Turn right.
Turn right. Okay.
Yes.
Now, some may criticize the deduction for signaling too early, but it is absolutely a hazard. If there were a car trying to enter the roadway, they may presume that you were turning into one of those other right-hand turns. So signaling too early is absolutely a hazard, and it is a deduction on the driving test. Now, something we can't actually see because of the forward-facing camera view is the student checking or not checking blind spots. You will recall at the beginning of the test the examiner's tips. She talked about not only checking blind spots when you change lanes, but also when you are turning right and left. And this is a great tip and just a great advice for defensive driving. You never know what a pedestrian or another car might be doing, and it's always good practice to check over that shoulder of where you're turning into and where you're turning onto before you actually commit to that turn. As a veteran driver, I have saved my vehicle and self numerous times on a turn because another driver was trying to run a light or wasn't paying attention. Always check blind spots when making left right turns and lane changes.
It's 75% to pass, right?
Oh, so
75% to pass? 75.
75.
Okay.
Don't think about that. Drive safely.
Yeah. Am I doing good or bad?
We come after this.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Traffic light and light.
Okay.
So, my hunch on this signaling early business is this is part of the nervous energy. We hear the instruction turn right and we want to take some sort of action. So, resist the temptation to signal early by maybe checking all your mirrors. You are preparing for a right hand turn. And so, if you do have that nervous energy, a great habit would be to scan mirrors. So, convert that nervous energy into a mirror scan, say, or checking your blind spots or surrounding.
After traffic light.
So, with all this early signaling, the question comes up, so when should we signal? Typically, in city and residential driving, we're talking about 100 feet prior to the turn. For signaling, if you were in Canada, I think they say 30 meters in town.
For the traffic light, turn right. After traffic light.
Oh, other documents.
Right, turn right, and we return at the office.
Okay.
So, with all the criticism, let's give some credit here. That was actually a pretty good sequence of lane changing. Student allowed the signal to work for a few moments and then changed not only once but two different lanes. Mistakenly thought he was turning back into the DMV there, but corrected well. So that was a great sequence of lane changing and recovering from a little bit of confusion.
Right here. Turn right.
Yep.
As with all driving tests, just because we're entering the DMV parking lot, that does not mean the test is over.
It's reverse
Be
parking.
defensive.
You can park beside the red car right here.
And for
Wait on the
this
lane
test, they
and
actually
take the
have you
car and
finish the test
Okay.
with a reverse park. So the last maneuver on this test is to back this car into a parking stall, which is, I think, a
You have
pretty
to
cool
park
way
in
to
different
finish the
lane.
exam,
beside, just beside.
Just beside.
Yes,
and a pretty good skill to demonstrate. Curiously, you're going to see that car in front there doing the same maneuver. They must be finishing a driving
The
test
lane
as
is not
well.
visible.
So let's stick around as this exam ends because the examiner goes through lots of information to help this student better prepare for the next test that they're going to be taking.
okay, give me a few. I explain you first the parking. Put signal turn before. Okay, oh, just put the mask
Oh, sorry.
over the. Okay,
Sorry.
okay. You stay straight on the lane. You do that. It's okay. Check around before you move. Check around the
Yeah,
car.
I'll
Okay.
check.
Yes, yes. Because we move a little bit. Just check before
Okay,
you
okay.
move. Okay.
Okay.
And after we check back side. Just turn more. Check there. Okay.
Okay.
Because when you reverse, you check there. You check in the back side. There.
Okay.
Okay. Here you stop here. Stop. Check around. You can fix if it's necessary. You can adjust the car and continue to check backside. Okay. I explain you here when we start. We have stop. We turn right here. When you check your visual scanning, check your sign because the car come here. You don't have the flasher, and you check and you start, but you have the priority.
Okay.
Okay. You turn here, but when we check first time, you don't have the signal turn. You make full stop and check that. Okay, because if you start and you don't have the stop and you go straight,
Okay.
it's dangerous. Okay. Okay, make a full stop. Sometimes you're too fast. Make full stop, zero. When you turn right here, you don't have the stop. Don't go under 20 kilometers. Okay, because sometimes you make a stop, but you don't have the stop. If you don't have the stop, 20. Don't go over or under 20.
Okay.
Maybe sometimes it's a little fast. Depend. Okay, just adjust. If rain and snow, it's too fast. 20. Under 20, maybe 15, 10. It's depend. You turn. If you turn left, if you don't have the car here because we don't have the priority, you don't have the stop, it's the same thing. You reduce the speed before scanning and turn. Okay. When you change the lane on the left side, one time we change on the left side. Okay, your blind side is too late. We begin to change, and the blind side you check in the mirror. You move up blind side too late. The blind side is before you maneuver.
Okay.
It's the same thing when you stop. When you stop and you turn right, the blind side is before you turn. Okay? Sometimes you have a pedestrian there, bicycle. If you turn left, before you turn, you check the blind side. Sometimes you have a car here, a bicycle and pedestrian there, before you turn, before you move. Okay, and respect the speed limits. time we go over
In
the
order to
50.
cross the car, in order to take,
Yes, but at this place we go 70. The Because when we change the lane, we go 70. Be careful the speed limit.
yeah,
If you go, if the car is too near, go after.
okay,
Okay, keep your 50. The car pass and you go after. Because if you go 70 to for change, it's too fast.
okay,
Okay. Um, okay. Okay. Today you don't pass. You need to practice that. Okay. I'll give you the road test checklist.
okay,
Okay. You can take another appointment on lane.
okay,
Okay. You can take 1 hour with the driving school and explain that. You can read this book, Driver's Handbook. Do you know this
yeah,
book?
yeah,
Yeah, you have. Okay, it's the same thing. They explain that here, here, and I write mandatory stop, full stop, check the speed limits, signal, observe, evaluate, practice your blind side, and using right of way. It's because sometimes when you're too slow and when you stop and you don't have the stop, driving with confidence.